What up, G-Life? It's your boy MC Shadow back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Share if possible because it does help my channel. Now, what I wanted to talk about today was like the title says, but before we get into it, for those that want to say like, well, who are you to talk on these matters and what do you know and blah, 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 blah. Look, this is America. This is YouTube. YouTube doesn't have police nor security guards. Anybody can talk about whatever they want in their channel. It's their channel. They have the freedom to express their opinions just like anybody else in this world. If you don't like what they're speaking about, there's other channels you don't have to watch. You're not being forced to watch. But people are entitled to say whatever they want and talk about whatever they want on their channels. You know what I mean? There's no such thing as policing it or this person shouldn't talk about this or that. They can talk about whatever they want. That's what it is. You don't control their lives. You don't control what people get to watch and talk about or none of that. You get what I mean? Everyone has the right to express themselves, even the people that have the right to make videos, talking about, me or other channels. You know what I mean? Everyone has the freedom to do whatever they want. No one is right here. It's everyone's opinions. No one has the right answer of how people should conduct themselves and stuff like that. You know what I mean? People will conduct themselves however they choose. And there's no changing that. That's just the way humanity is. Humanity cannot be domesticated. Now, I do educate myself. I do take online college courses and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Education is something that I like. You know what I mean? It's what I like feeding myself. It's what I like to do. It's the channel and stuff that I like to watch. While other people like watching, other stuff. Those are the kind of channels that I like to watch. Kind of like nerdish or whatever, but I like to educate myself. Anywho, now the Ukraine and Russia matter. Since it's been headlines and I've been getting asked for my opinion on it. Well, first of all, let me give you a slight breakdown of what's going on in Russia and Ukraine and why is it a big deal and stuff like that. Well, it really isn't to the United States. It isn't. The only reason why it's a big deal to the United States is because the NATO treaty. What is NATO? NATO is a group of countries that get together and form an alliance to protect certain areas. You know what I mean? So it's like they have they have a treaty, right? Like right here we all gonna gather together to protect this. Like this is our neighborhood, right? This is our barrio. So like five different gangs, or 6 different gangs, meet up and say, all right, homie, all of us together are gonna protect this area right here. And if any other gang tries to move in right here, homie, we all roll up and we say chales. That's pretty much what's going on. What NATO is. You get what I'm saying? It runs just like gangs, huh? In that shit, huh? Yeah, there's no difference between gangs and countries, bro. No difference, homie. Despite what people want to say, homie, there's no difference whatsoever. You know what I mean? They protect their colors, their name, and they're willing to die for their cause. It's the same shit, homie. Don't give me that. You know what I mean? It runs the exact same way. Where do you think these people got their whole ideas and agendas and structures from? Come on now. Anywho, so that's pretty much what NATO is, right? So you pretty much Ukraine wants to join NATO. Russia doesn't like that because they're right there. Russia's not down with NATO. Because Russia feels like it has the right to conquer and take whatever they want, and no one has the right to tell them no. You know what I mean? Now Russia and Ukraine has always had a fucked up relationship, right? Because Russia has ruled Ukraine, throughout history. Ukraine never liked that. Ukraine has always fought, for its independence and everything like that. Even though they were a part of the Soviet Union, because at one point even Ukraine and America were enemies and stuff like that. But when they got their freedom, you know what I mean? Their independence, pues, they created a partnership with the U.S. and stuff like that. Because Russia has always wanted to conquer Ukraine, right? And it did for a good while throughout history. And it's never like that, you know what I mean? It's never like that. Now, Ukraine was, a powerhouse back then on that side of town, you know what I'm saying? Russia was the first, they were the second. It's how it's always been. Now, with Ukraine, it's a trip because, like, all of the West, which is more of a portion of Ukraine, is all Ukrainian, Slavic, right? So that's the language that they speak and everything like that. And on the eastern ends, like already like on the border, like heading into Russia, part of Ukraine, they're mostly like Russians, right? Like they speak Russian and all of that. You know, they're Ukrainian / Russian. You know what I mean? And they want to be a part of Russia, right? That's where you get these rebels that Ukraine is fighting with. Those are the ones that want to, you know, align themselves with Russia and shit like that, right? Because when Russia used to, you know, rule Ukraine, it designed it like that, right? It designed it that you weren't allowed to speak Ukraine. You'll go to jail or even killed if you were speaking Ukrainian. They decided to, you know, the women could only, you know, marry somebody that was Russian, you know, to try to erase the Ukraine race, pues, you know what I mean? You already know how colonization works, you know what I mean? So that's what they were trying to do, right? But you know, Ukraine, you know, fought its war and got its independence again. They got their independence like 3 times from those guys. That's how many times. That's how fucked up the relationship has been between Ukraine and Russia, right? So they have always wanted. Nobody in Ukraine wants to be a part of Russia, bro. But Russia wants to take over Ukraine. But all the Ukrainians are saying, nah, we don't want nothing to do with Russia. But fucking Putin don't listen, because he's hard-headed. Because look, at one point, Ukraine, you know, when it was the Soviet Union, Ukraine and Russia were one. So it was a powerhouse, right? And then it got its independence. Some Russians didn't like that it got its independence because now they're not as powerful as they once were. You know, to them, it's all about power, dog. It's an ego trip. You know what I'm saying? So Putin still lives in the past, homie. He still wants to be like the big dog in the yard. You know, he's like that. You know, he's somebody that wants to, you know, stomp the yard, you know. So he doesn't listen to when people say, hey, these fools don't want no part of you guys, dog. They don't want to be. Nah, it doesn't matter. We should have all been one Russia like before. This ain't like before, homie. Times are different now. But he's still stuck in the past, dog. So you know what I'm saying? Now, what does that have to do with us, the United States? Well, the reason why, you know, the United States is involved is because of the NATO treatment, the NATO policy, pues, you know, you know, it's kind of like saying, you know, if we aligned ourselves, right? If our barrios click up, homie, like our barrios if we click up, right? We click up. So anybody fucks with your barrio, then they fuck with our barrio, and vice versa. Right, so that's pretty much, you know, why people, you know, they click up, you know, even in gangs. There's gangs that click up. So it's like they fuck with your gang, it's like they fucking with my gang. So same shit applies right here, like the streets, homie. So what happens if Russia fucks with Ukraine, dog, and we got a pact? Then I mean, then it's like fucking with us, homie. You get what I'm saying? See, here's my personal view. I think that countries shouldn't do that. I think every country should fend for themselves, homie. You know what I mean? You know, if it's none of our business, you know, let's not get involved. You know what I mean? That's their beef. Why are you gonna get involved in their beefs? You feel me? That's how I see it. You know what I mean? So that's at least how I think it should be. But obviously that's not how it is. You know what I mean? But that's the reason why, you know, now, why is it such a big deal? Why are people panicking about, you know, well, if it's Russia, 2 countries versus Russia and everything, like, it becomes more complex. Whenever somebody goes to war, you see why other countries step in, you know, throughout the world to try to calm down the beef. The reason for that is because it's not as simple as you guys think it is. Now, if 2 countries go to war, because a lot of countries have partnerships, they have pacts. If there's another country now, if these 2 countries are going to war and there's another country now that wants to expand its territories, it's been wanting to for a while, but it hasn't because, you know, these other countries, you know, stick their nose right there. So they tend to kind of like back off and like, all right, we can't do nothing because these fools are going to step in. But now, if Ukraine and Russia, you know, go to war, then now we have to be busy trying to, you know, send them support and try to, like, you know, talk over there and try to calm shit down. We're busy focusing over there. Now, our other allies are now vulnerable. So now these other countries that have been wanting to move on them get to move on them. Hence, China on Taiwan. China's been wanting Taiwan for a long time, bro. Oh, those guys have been, just like Russia's been wanting Ukraine for a long time. Oh, China's been wanting them Taiwans for a long time, bro. And obviously, we're aligning ourselves with Taiwan. So China's gonna see this as an opportunity of, to move in on Taiwan, homie. Since we're over there, busy over there. Oh, you know what? These fools are gonna be busy over here, homie. So let's make. So now we're gonna have to send our troops now to Taiwan. So now we have to worry about Russia and China at the same time, homie. I don't know if anybody's noticed this, but the United States military is battle, dog. Nobody wants to go to war with the United States, homie. That I'll give them, dog. The United States fucking military is the best of the best. I'm not just saying that because I'm American. Well, Mexican American. You know what I mean. But we got good shit, homie. Let me tell you that much, dog. If there's one thing we always spend our money, and the only thing we spend our money on is fucking weaponry. Hey, you get? Don't get me wrong. These motherfuckers ain't no pushovers either. You know what I'm saying? But the United States is elite. But at the same time, as elite as you can be, my boy, you got two powerhouses right here, homie. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter how chingon you motherfuckers are, dog. I mean, when you got two big dogs in the yard, it's gonna be a fucking tough battle, homie. Let me tell you that much. It's gonna be no easy walk for neither side. I'll tell you that much. You know what I mean? But there's gonna be a whole lot of this madre. I'll tell you that much. You know what I'm saying? That's for damn sure. If there's anything that's a damn sure, is that it's gonna be a whole lot of this madre for every side. China, Russians, Ukrainians, Americans, and the allies as well. You know what I mean? Because our allies, with several countries, France, England, and all of that, Beijing, all kinds of shit. It's gonna be a fucking big old gumbo of chaos. You get what I'm saying? But that's the reason why it's a big deal, and why people, because you gotta respect the bonds that you make with countries, homie. So if you guys agree to align yourselves and make this pact, then you gotta respect the pact. You know what I mean? You can't be as soon as now shit pops off, all of a sudden you ain't want to step in. It's like, damn fool, like the first act where the pact actually comes into place, to show our unity, and you're already backtracking. You know what I mean? Then countries ain't gonna want to make a pact with you no more, fool. You know what I mean? They ain't gonna want to fuck with you no more. You already showed your true colors right here in this last time. That's why it's hard for countries to actually, because people could be like, oh, fuck that, homie, they should just, step back. Nah, because then countries are gonna want to fuck with you no more. And you still need to make your revenue, and you still need to make businesses with these countries. That's how revenue is created in our country. You sell your shit to other countries and vice versa. There's trades, because they have stuff in their countries that we don't have in our country, and vice versa. It's how you create your economy. So if these countries don't want to fuck with you no more, and stuff like that, then your economy is gonna take a blow. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just as easy as you just step out, because then you're gonna suffer financially, as well. So either way you're kind of screwed, dog. You know what I'm saying? Whenever countries, see, that's why people don't want countries to go to war. That's why people be like, why don't they just let them fight it out? Because everybody has a horse in the race, my boy, and everyone's gonna take some, if not military or life, casualty blow, you're gonna take a financial blow, dog. And those are two things that people never want to take. But that's why it's a big deal. Because if these countries do go to war, yes, financially wise, everyone's gonna suffer. You know what I mean? One way or another. Pretty much what my opinion on the matter is, I think Russia's wrong, dog. I think Russia's wrong because, my boy, that was back then, homie. The past is the past, dog. I get it. Those were the golden years, homie, of you guys. But ¿sabes qué, homie? That's how real life works. We don't live in the past. We only now keep moving forward. You know what I mean? If people don't want to fuck with you, you shouldn't force them to fuck with you. Trust me, in this world, you want people that want to fuck with you, that actually want to fuck with you. You get what I mean? You don't want to force somebody to fuck with you. That's a fake alliance. I guarantee you, you guys take over Ukraine, they conquer Ukraine, what's going to happen? Civil wars, these little packs of rebel pockets. It's going to be, bro, you'll never have the Ukraine that you're envisioning now. The perfect Ukraine. It's going to be battles and fucking civil wars and all kinds of shit, bro. These motherfuckers, ancestors and people, they went through all kinds of shit for their freedom, for their independence. And if you fools are going to come and now take that, they ain't going to allow that, homie. All of that shit wasn't for nothing. You know what I'm saying? You know, people are gonna fight for their rights, homie. That's the beauty. That's the beautiful thing about humanity. No person's gonna be able to come and conquer. They may come and conquer for a cool minute, but those empires all crumble. Like the Germany Empire, the Ottoman Empire, Genghis Khan and his empire, the Roman Empire. They have all crumbled. As great as their armies were, the cream of the crop or whatever. ¿Sabes qué? Your people, dog, they outnumber you guys, dog. You know what I'm saying? And even though they're not trained for combat and they don't have no weaponry, you're still gonna suffer losses, and people are gonna get tired of fighting, homie. You know what I mean? And so many deaths. Who's the fuck wants to be ruling over people like that? You know what I mean? There's no peace, never no peace. You know what I mean? You don't have an empire. You know, when people ain't down with you, a real empire is when people are willingly there and actually, you know, support and actually show love. But when you always have to be constantly fighting and ruling and all, that's not an empire, bro. You always have to be worried about motherfuckers assassinating you, and you know, you're putting all your men in jeopardy. You know what I mean? And so after a while, even they get tired of that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing, and you can't domesticate humanity, homie. You can never change down humanity. You know, people are gonna step out of line. They don't want to step in line. You know what I mean? And there's always gonna be that. You're never gonna be able to silence and actually really, you know, you're never gonna be able to rule over humanity ever. No man will ever be able to rule over humanity. Humanity won't let itself, bro. That I guarantee you. You know what I'm saying? You can't domesticate people, bro. As hard as you can try, as great as your armies is, as wicked as your tactics are. You know what I mean? Look at all these laws that they put. You know, the death penalty before, you know, they used to feed you to the lions. They used to do all kinds of horrendous shit, and people still broke the law, homie. Even though they knew that all these things were going to happen to them, they still broke the law, dog. That's what humanity is, dog. We're just going to do what we want to do. Can't be domesticating us. Like, that's why you can't domesticate a zebra. No matter what you can do, you're not going to be able to strap a saddle on that motherfucker and ride him like a horse. Can't. It won't let itself. All the torture tactics that you could try on that shit is not going to comply. Neither will humanity. You seen throughout history, they tortured motherfuckers and all kinds of shit, and these motherfuckers still didn't break. I'm just saying. But that's why, you know why it's important, and why people are, you know, tripping on it, and why, you know, wuti wa. Yeah. Just like little breakdown. What shadow we at?